Good morning, friends. Today we are going to study numbers. Now, numbers is a very vast topic. So, what we'll do is we'll make the agenda of the topic. First of all, we'll study classification of numbers. Then we'll pick up divisibility tests, HCF and LCM and their models, remainders, factors and multiples, and cyclicity of the units digit. So here we can see the topic is vast. Okay. So let's start with first of all classification of numbers. Numbers can always be expressed in the form a plus ib, where they are called as complex numbers, where a is called as the real part and ib is your imaginary part. As far as aptitude test is concerned, imaginary part is not required. Let's focus only on the real part. Now the real numbers can further be classified into two ways: rational numbers and irrational numbers. Rational numbers are those numbers which can be expressed in the form p by q, where p and q belong to set of integers and q should not be equal to 0. And the numbers which are not rational are called as irrational numbers. Rational numbers can further be classified into three ways. First, integers. Second, fractions. And third, decimals. Integers are those numbers which have q is equal to 1. So further they can be classified into three ways: negative integers, 0 and positive integers. 0 and positive integers clubbed together are called as whole numbers, and positive integers are called as natural numbers. Natural numbers can further be classified into two ways: prime numbers and composite numbers. Now what are prime numbers? Prime numbers have exactly two factors: the number itself and 1. Whereas composite numbers have more than two factors. Coming down to fractions, fractions are expressed in three ways. Where p is less than q, we call it as proper fraction. Where p is greater than q, we call it as improper fraction. And fractions of the form a p by q, which are called as mixed fractions. As far as decimals is concerned, decimals, rational numbers expressed in decimal forms can be of two types. One, terminating decimal number, and second, if it is non-terminating but recurring. For example, 1 by 2, 4 by 5 are terminating decimals, And non-terminating is like 1 by 3, which can be written as 0.3333. It gets repeated at regular intervals. Irrational numbers can be classified into two ways. One is nth root of a, which are called as surds, and b, non-terminating, non-recurring decimals. So this is a comprehensive chart of numbers. Integers can further be classified into two ways. Either the integer is an even integer or it is an odd integer. For all practical purposes, we need to remember that there are 25 prime numbers from 1 to 100. And the numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47, 53, 59, 61, 67, 71, 73, 79, 83, 89 and 97. You'll understand that there are 15 prime numbers between 1 to 50 and there are 10 prime numbers between 51 to 100. So your task would be to find out prime numbers from 100 to 200, right? Now any prime number which is greater than or equal to 5 can always be expressed in the form 6k plus minus 1 or 4k plus minus 1. But every number of the form 6k plus minus 1 or 4k plus minus 1 is not necessarily a prime number. Which means, if you want to check whether a given number is a prime or not, this is not a test. Therefore, if we say whether to check 137 is a prime number or not, we pick all the prime numbers less than or equal to square root of 137, and if 137 is divisible by any of such prime numbers, then it is not a prime number. For example, square root of 37 lies between square root of 121 and square root of 144, which means 11 and 12. Therefore, all the prime numbers less than or equal to 11 is 2, 3, 5, 7 and 11. If any of these prime numbers divide 137, then 137 is not a prime number. That means here the role of divisibility test comes into play. So our next agenda would be to understand what are divisibility tests.